Good morning and welcome. It is Saturday, the 3rd of June. I am Flat Cap Callum and I'm hoping you are all very, very well. Alright, we've arrived at Saturday. It is Derby Day. The last couple of weeks, the firmer ground has meant smaller field sizes and generally me low staking. Today's the day. It's all going to change. The ground's the same, but I'm having a little go. I found some stuff, and I'm maxing out today. I'm maxing stake, £40 double stake day, and I'm maxing bets, 8 bets. There was stuff I've left off, so I even had like a reserve list, and I had a whole bunch of horses for win bets, and I put none of them on the channel stake. So yeah, it's an attempt to come out from the shrubbery in the firm ground and try and raid the bookies. But £40 on predominantly double figure horses, as most people will know on this channel, it can go wrong. Sometimes it can go right. When we had an upstake a couple of weeks ago, it was a successful one. But the last couple of times we've had a little go, specifically, didn't go so well. So it's up to you what you want to do. You need to decide whether you happy just following along and seeing the result, or whether you want to have some level of investment. The channel's putting £40 of our current bank into these selections. It's a busy day, but I would say most stuff is later. So the Derby's early because of the FA Cup final at 1:30. I'm not really getting much involved in the Derby. I've only got a couple of selections in a split leg in the first bet, and then I got a horse in a 2:45, and then it's 3 o'clock onwards where we really get going for the channel, and we've got a few things in the evening. Because I started looking through it and I thought, well, there's 9 meetings and there's a lot of racing, but I don't necessarily think it's going to translate to value. And then outside the obvious race at Epsom, and then I found the 5:35 at Lingfield. I really like that race. That's brilliant. And then I found a couple of races at Tramore, and I was like, yeah, there's a few there that I think that market's not quite right. And Tramore markets, people don't pay as much attention. It's a smaller track. And then I did find a race I liked at Listowel, but it's a sprint in Ireland, lower quality, can be a bit risky. So all being said, I've put it all in the plan. So we've got 3 combination bets, 1 split leg Yankee bet, and 4 lucky 15s, maybe something like that. I'll go through it. Right, before we do that, we'll go through Fridays. I didn't have any paper on Friday. It was just a quick in the comments job. And we had a bit of a mixed bag. So the first one was the Chepstow Catterick Carlisle one. We had 2 horses, 1 out the placing, and 2 nowhere nears. So nothing back. And then we had an Epsom bet. Repertoire was 1 out the placings for Sky. The City's Phantom went great from the front. SP 50s, Channel had it at 40s. That was 3rd. Red Riding Hood was disappointing in the Oaks. And then we had Riot, which placed for Sky and no one else. So it was a place double that was quite profitable. 16s and 40, the Channel had it. If you'd done it SP, you'd be on 50s and 14s. Riot for the Channel had a 10p rule 4 as well. So that was that. So it got some money back for the channel, but only if you were using Sky. And then in the bet free was the win bet. And we had Age of Sale won really well, but unfortunately Westover and Stalingrad were both second, so you don't get nothing back for 1 win and 2 seconds on a win Trixie. And then over in Ireland, we had Sandymont Baby that wasn't great. King of York Doncaster wasn't any good. And then we were on to the Tramore double, and Tom McGreevy was running a nice race in front, and then jinked for Key and Quirk, and then ended up running out. So we'll never know, because Beechwood Winnie did go in place, and had Tom McGreevy carried on the race and finished in the top 4, we would have had a place double that would have ultimately got us back to level for the day, but it was not to be. Then we had the Oaks Derby double, and obviously Red Riding Hood was rubbish, so that paid that. So 21 on, because we had a bonus bet, and 10.32 back. So half our money back, but I'm very conscious if you didn't bet with Sky yesterday, then you didn't really get much back at all. It was Wednesday when the channel was well behind everybody else. It's probably levelled itself out a little bit this week in that regard. So I think it is... the maths has gone out of my head. I think we're about 25, 26 down now this week. So we want to have a little turnaround on Saturday, and we've gone big. So we could win big, we could lose big, we could just about get some back. We'll see. But let me spin you through what I've got for here. And what I would flag is Sky definitely better today on a few races. But as is often the case at the moment, Saturdays hills are coming out second best in a lot of places. And if you've got lots of counts but don't have a hills count, particularly for Saturdays, it's worth having a look at getting a hills account, because in the week seems to be less good for extra places, but on the weekend they go a little bit more on the extra place promotions, and it can be very helpful. So here we go. Bet one. This is the only Derby interest in the staking plan for today. The 130, the Derby, with split legging, two solids in there, the Foxes and White Birch. I looked at bigger prices. Obviously, I had San Antonio in the each way double. I've not brought it into today. It was about 18s, 20s, and 25s. I thought it was good. 18s, 20s compared to those, they're a more solid option, and you've got about 6-7 points less. And I just when I've worked it out, I was like, I would side with these two. So split leg, the Foxes and White Birch in the Derby. Then we're going 245, Miss Brazen at 8s. 320 Sampers 7 at 12, and the 505 Indian Creek at 14s. 2 times 10p each way Yankees. So I've not got singles on these. These are just Yankees. I was all right with those because there were small enough prices in a very competitive race. And then Indian Creek's gone up a little bit, so it's not ideal to have a 14-1 shot in a Yankee without covering it as a single. But I'm trying to fit Channel Stake in there, and that wasn't a priority horse. Being honest, it's not a bad one, but I've got better, I think. And now I've said that, that'll win enough, and else will. But there you go. So Sky best. So you've got 5 on there for Sky. Everyone's 4. 5 on there. Most people are 4. Sky are 7 on there. A couple of 6. Most are 5. And Sky are 4. Most are 4. So 2 times 10p each way Yankees. Sky best. Then Paddy second best. So Paddy and Hills are both 6 on that 320. So that's why Paddy and Hills are better, but Paddy will get bog on the multiples. So 2 times 10p each way Yankees. 440 is bet 1. Right. Then we're going over to Ireland, so we're going to try and mix and match a little bit with the Irish ones. I've not put Irish ones with UK ones, so I've tried to keep it separate in that way, but the way the times are, I'll flick back and forth. 3 o'clock Listowel, Warrior Brave 25s. I was debating, and you'll see in my kind of final fourfold bet, the 3 o'clock Listowel that was in, and then I've switched it for the Epsom race. I was between the two. I really like the Lingfield race, that was staying in, and the Tramore races. I quite liked them. It's a funny track, Tramore, and you got to try and find particular types of horses. And I was happy with what I had. Whereas I thought, as much as I got big prices in this 3 o'clock Listowel, it's a 6 furlong sprint and on a track that less are familiar with, and therefore that was harder to read. So I was happy with the big prices, but I felt that there was some level of risk in there, and then I've ultimately gone for the 320 at Epsom, which for most people would have been the first race in. Anywho, there we go. 550 Listowel. It's basically a bad each way race. I think God knows should be a lot shorter and closer to the favourite on that one. So 15-2. 7 o'clock Tramore, Maggie Walsh 16s, and 8 o'clock Tramore, Talk of the Town 22s. 18p each way, lucky 15. 540 is your bet. Sky best. Sky are, I think it's 5 there, 5 there. I think that's why everybody else is the same, which is 4-3-4-4. So as long as you're getting bog on your multiple, that would be helpful. That is bet 2, 540. All right, another Irish one. 3 o'clock Listowel, Furnace Creek at 33s. 6 o'clock split leg at Tramore, Quarry Lil at 12s. O Mio Bambino at 10, so split leg that. 7 o'clock Tramore, Flyaway Maggie at 33s. 8 o'clock Tramore, Bear Claws at 18s. 2 times 10p each way, lucky 15s. Sky Best, it's a £6 bet. And if you're not familiar, because I know there's always new people joining, this is 2 lucky 15s. One has got Furnace Creek, Flyaway Maggie, Bear Claws and Quarry Lil. And one has got Furnace Creek, Flyaway Maggie, Bear Claws and O Mio Bambino. So 2 different ones. And the reason I do it like that sometimes is if I've got smaller prices and therefore I think the value is a small percentage and there's not much to split them, I want to include both of them, but then I'd much rather have twice as much stake on these ones that I think have got bigger prices, where I've also got 2 horses in the race. So I've put other horses in those ones in other bets, because the bigger prices and the value point margin between where I think they are and where they actually are is greater, and therefore it's trying to demonstrate that you can have weighting on your bet. So I would split leg that one, because I could have just put one in and gone for it, but there wasn't much between those two in the way I read it. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so that's bet 3. Bet 4, all right, combo double bet. We've got a few of these. So 3 o'clock Listowel, Furnace Creek 33s, Warrior Brave 25s. I've added in, it's in nowhere else, Inventor at 14s. Going on to this 5:35 Lingfield. It's a really good one. But the thing to watch out with this Lingfield race is not everyone's 4 places. Sky are 365 are and Hills, Betfred and 888. They are 4 on that race, and it's really going to be really helpful. You've basically, the favourite has got shorter and shorter overnight. I liked it yesterday night, but it's got better and better because the favourite's in and around an even money, and then you're going back to like 4th favourite. So I independently like those horses before I realised actually how good the betting structure of the race was. So yeah, I'm really happy with that 5:30 Lingfield. It can all go wrong. It doesn't mean it's guaranteed, but the value there is cracking. So we've got 6 times 25p each way doubles. It's a £3 bet. Sky Best, then 365 because you'll get Bog, and then Hills, Betfred 888 are jointly there. That is bet 4. Then we're going bet 5. We're back over in the UK. We're going to the south of England for Epsom Lingfield combos. 320 Epsom, Zarzini at 16s. 355 Epsom Perfect Play 17-2, 535 Lingfield Magical Dragon at 16s, 610 Lingfield Crimson King at 9s, 20p each way lucky 15, £6 is the bet. Sky Best, then Hills, then 365. Been a bit flopping around the different bookies. What's been helpful this morning is there hasn't been too much price movement, so I don't know if there's going to come any later or it's just not happening today, but normally when I've got this volume of bets, the nightmare is how many are non-runners, and I've had none so far. The ground's consistently firm, so that's fine. And normally then you're looking at what's moving in the market. Unfortunately, I haven't had to do much changing about. All right, bet 6, 320 Epsom, Papa Don't Preach. That was my horse of the day on freebets.com. It's drifted a bit this morning, which is delightful. So 4 is, you can get 50s on 365 at the time I made this video. 355 Epsom, Forster Tomeo, which was my horse of the day from a couple of weeks ago, 16s. The 430 Epsom, I've split-legged it. Sky are 4, no one else is. They both were much bigger last night, those two. They have come in. And I know there's a big difference in the price, but Halifon's got a much better chance than Lucanda, but Lucanda has got value in there too. So Halifon 8s and Lucanda at 16s. And then we're finishing off 535 Lingfield, Uther Pendragon, 25-1. 2 times 10p each way, lucky 15s. So one with those two, that, and Halifon, and then next one, those two, that, and Lucanda. Sky Best, then Hills, then 365. £6 is your bet. 2 more to go. I mean, I got to think about it all, then write it all out, then put all the bets on, and then talk you through it and hold it all up. So all you guys got to do is put them on. Right, hopefully it takes you less time than it takes me, but I appreciate it takes time to do all this. Right, Epsom, 320, Papa Don't Preach at 40, Sampers 7s at 12. I've added in Novello at 14s, Zarzini at 16s, going on to the 355, Perfect Play 17-2, Forza Tomeo at 16s, 8 times 25p each way doubles, £4 your bet. So we've got an 8 times 1, we've had a 6 times 1, and we've still got a 4 times 1. Sky Best, then Paddy, then Hills, £4 is your bet. And the big one to finish us off, which has pushed us into having a little go, this is where I've landed. I'm very happy with that. The 3 o'clock Listowel is the other race where I've got a couple in that I absolutely could have done in here. So if something goes awry with this bet in terms of horses come out or something, it's well worth having a look about swapping that one in. So we've got 320 Epsom, Papa Don't Preach 40s, Sampers 7 at 12s. Then we've got both the Dragons in the 535. Uther Pen Dragon at 25, Magical Dragon at 16s. Then we've got both the Maggies at Tramore, Fly Away Maggie at 33s, Maggie Walsh at 16s. Then the 8 o'clock, Bear Claws at 18s, and Talk of the Town at 22s. You've busted me now, haven't you? Because basically I just picked pairs of names. So that's how I've done this one. I just like Dragons and Maggies. So Maggie Dragon would have absolutely been my horse of the day, but there wasn't that. So yeah, I've just had to go with them ones. Yeah, that's it's as easy as that sometimes. Just find a race with two horses with the same word and put them in your big combination bets. It's great. 16 times 10p each way, 4 folds. So that is all combinations. So what we're looking for here is to try and spike ourselves a framing horse in each leg to make a nice profit. If we get more than that, we're very delighted. In addition to that, we've also got the combo double here on those bottom two at Tramore. So that's the 4 at Tramore, 4 times 25p each way double. So don't forget that bit's on the bet too, because really that's probably the closest we've got to a saver bet. So if everything has gone down before 7 o'clock, then we're looking at those two Tramore races to try and save us. But the day is stacked on these 4 races really. If all of these go to crap, then it's going to be probably a hard day to try and fix, because I've stacked it on, the lean is on those. These horses are in lucky 15s, combination doubles, and a 4-fold. So Sky's best, because we've got 7, 4, 4 and 5, I think. Then Hills, then 3, 6, 5, then Paddy. That's the order I would do them in. If you've got those bookmakers, that's the order I would prioritise this bet in. If you're on Sky, they're not going to want to take the bet probably. Even if you've not quite got restricted bets, then they won't like it. But there you go. That's bet 8. 520 is your bet, and that finishes off. I'm not expecting great shakes from tomorrow, so really it's about Saturday, because the UK meetings are pretty small fields on Sunday, and Ireland's got the odd 1 or 2 races. So I'll be back late tonight with Sunday selections, and I think it probably will be late. So I'll be back late tonight for Sunday selections, and it will be a small stake to finish off. But hopefully we're cheering. We might be crying. It's a free country. They're free selections. I've put £40 of real money from the channel account on those. Those do also represent the horses that I am personally backing outside of what I'm doing with the channel with my own money and what have you. Let's see how we get on. By tea time we could be cheering or not. We'll find out. All right. Thank you very much. Have a lovely Saturday. Enjoy the derby, even though I'm not personally doing a lot on it. And see you tonight. Thank you. Bye-bye.